Okay, excellent. Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of Once Upon a Time in the Old World. We are back after a 2-week break, is it? Yeah, 2-week break, we'll call it. Yeah, we're back after a 2-week break. And we're ready to go again, but we're probably going to be a little bit ring rusty, I'm sure, but along the way. Anyway, I'm your GM, and I'm Jim, and these are my players.
Hi, I'm Roger. I'm playing Johann von Erfinder, the human student engineer, and this week I spent my XP boosting a tiny bit on my dex and a bit on my intelligence.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron, and I am playing Hagen Ritter von Delbers, the questing knight to the Order of the White Wolf, who is in the process of having to see his entire mother's side of the family killed. So that'll be an interesting episode. I spent my XP. I boosted my strength a little bit and added a little bit to my weapon skill with two-handed weapons.
I'm Kevin, and I'm playing Gerhardt, who is a wizard apprentice, but I have enough experience to become a wizard, but I think we're going to have to wait and see if that comes up at some point. And I shit my pants in back to him last episode, so hopefully it doesn't work out too badly this time around.
Hey, by gum, I'll be Dan, and I'd be playing Mordek, and this accent is really rusty. More so than usual, and I haven't spent any XP.
Hi, I'm Colin. I am playing Cowlin, the human thug, and I have spent my XP on strength, which gets everything I need to complete the queer.
Hey all, it's Dan here. I'm playing Ilmarin, your flouncy pouncy elf. Though he is looking decidedly more serious at the moment with weird stuff going on, so you know, I spent my XP on just trying to up my stats so I can get out of my career into the next one. But see how that goes.
Okay. So when we last left our party, they had gone to Hagen's uncle's house for a bit of a festivity for him being knighted, and they had a great night and a good time was had by all, but no, it didn't happen that way though. They were trapped in there by some sinister power. They all assumed that it was some sort of chaotic power. I believe Ilmarin started having visions, and basically struggled with settling in. Things started happening. They believe that Griselda, Hagen's auntie, is behind it all. His uncle has been mutated into a filthy, fiendishly mutated thing, and then was shot dead by Johann with his useful pistol. And then we left it as Hagen, with his stolen hammer, his hammer
Liberated.
that he has liberated
Inherited.
from his uncle.
Inherited.
Yeah, that's
That's the language right there. Inherited.
Violently inherited.
Yeah. He smashed his auntie's door, and inside is currently an empty room. There is a large mirror over the fireplace in there, in what is quite a nicely affluent and well-decorated room, mostly in reds and purples.
I just need to click something here from last time that I never did. Because I got broken last episode, I get one of these. So apparently I'm exhausted.
So, standing at the door, I believe, is Hagen, and would it be Johann?
Yeah, I'd be right beside him.
Closely followed by the two Dans. and
So
I
for the
believe
extras to hide.
Colin and Kevin were coming up the stairs. Were you? Is that right?
Let the
Yeah,
humans
probably.
go first. That's what they're there for.
I had run down the stairs to cower so
Yeah.
that I could.
That's
regain
it. Yeah, oh, yeah.
We're the elder race, so
And
we,
I
you
was-
know, we got lower numbers. The
I
humans,
hadn't
they breed
recovered
like
from my.
rabbits.
Sorry, I just
Okay,
hear some kind
so
of
yeah.
clucking noises coming from behind us.
So Hagen bursts through and screams out, Grisella, demon, fiend, whatever you are, face me for what you have done to my family.
And there is no sound. It's all very eerily quiet.
He moves into the room and is just almost spinning around in a spot. His eyes are just wide with rage and terror. He can't believe what's happened, and he's just looking for something to hit.
Johan will be sticking very close to Hagen. In questionable moments, he generally finds it's best to stay near the big hitty man.
Okay. There's two large bookcases along two of the walls. One is alongside the door wall, and the other is alongside the back wall. The bed is against the head of the bed, should I say, is against the left wall, and there's some dressing tables. There's like an ottoman chest, and various bits of like furniture for dressing. So there's like a stand there for dresses to be put on, and various things like that. The bed is very nice. It's a four-poster with silk hangings and curtains on it.
Johan's going to start actually looking for trapdoors, secret passages, that kind of thing, assuming
Okay.
that Griselda's got some kind of escape route.
Okay.
And Hagen will move up to the mirror, and he short halves the end of the hammer and just strikes it against the mirror to see if the hammer goes through or if it breaks the glass.
It clunks on it, and yeah, a crack goes up the middle of the mirror.
Damn these infernal things.
Would you like to make me a roll, please? At difficult.
What roll and who?
Like a perception check.
Oh,
He's looking
finding
for
things.
secret. Yeah.
And sorry, difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, so close. Can I spend a fortune point to actually gain a success level to pass?
Yes. Okay. So, looking round, you can't actually find a secret door of such, but you sort of work out that it's definitely not behind you unless it's some sort of magical portal, because those walls go out onto the landing. It could be from the eastern wall where there is a large bookcase, or it could be against the back wall where there's the eastern wall is where the bed is. The back wall is where there's a large bookcase, and then there's a wardrobe over on the right hand side of the back wall as well, where all the dressers and what am I thinking of? Dressing tables or whatever are all along the right hand side. So it's either going to be in the floor, or it's going to be behind one of those pieces of furniture, if there is anything in it. And you're pretty sure, unless you used magical means, which is also possible, but there's no other way that she could be in here, or is there?
Well, I'd basically be checking all of those because I'd be listening for mechanisms, tapping on the wood, listening for hidden things. And...
Okay.
Speaking of,
Is everybody? Oh, go on. Sorry.
You know I have 125 experience and I didn't spend it on anything because I'm waiting to become wizard at some point. Could I spend 100 points of that on second sight, a talent that I can get?
Absolutely.
And it be some sort of backlash that happened within me because I keep trying to touch magical stuff and getting the back of my brain burned.
Nice.
Okay.
And then suddenly,
Yeah, that's perfectly good. I like the idea. That's a good thinking behind it. So yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
excellent. I'm going to try and use second sight to see if I can figure out where she's gone. As I wander up the stairs, mumbling to myself, kind of slightly cracked because I was broken.
Yeah. So, would you make a challenging perception test, please?
Okay. Hang on one second. Skills. Sorry, I forget where everything is. Challenging. Impressive failure. I'm going to use a fortune point and try and reroll that.
Okay.
On the off chance it does something good. I get one successful one. Hey.
That's an improvement. It's gone from impressive failure to marginal failure.
Although it's
No, I have a plus one
plus
because of second sight.
Oh, there you go. So you
Magic.
All
passed.
right, so you passed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you start looking around for mechanisms or any sort of magic portals or anything, but something gains your complete attention as you start looking for a way out of this room in the shape of two rather large tombs that are on one of the bookshelves. One is called Osplain's Guide to Demonology and Necromancy. The other one is called Osplain's Guide to Magics of All Colours.
Oh, I'm gonna reach my hands towards whichever is the nearest of the two, reach it toward, and then go, Johan, could you check that? I there's definitely a vibe coming off of it, but I really don't want to touch it given the stuff that's gone on in my head since we got here.
They are probably the most attractive thing that you've ever seen in your life.
I'm drooling slightly.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever craved anything in your life before, it's these two books. And it's almost the fact that your whole life and whole career so far has been about finding these two books.
So when Gerhard asked me to look, what do they say to Johan? Do they say the same thing?
Yeah, they say Osplain's Guide to Necromancy and Demonology and Osplain's Guide to Magics of All Colours.
The name doesn't mean anything to me, I assume.
Sigmar's Mercy. I'll say making the sign of Sigmar when he says it, when he sees what they say.
And as you're looking, you notice another book, Osplain's Guide to the Winds of Magic.
I'm not sure who this is, but writing books on necromancy and demonology. This can't be good.
There's something coming off of them. This is a new talent that's awoken in me. I don't know quite. I know it's the second sight, but I've never used it before.
I mean, Johan would probably back away from them because magic.
You get no
bad.
vibe from them at all. Yeah. No,
I don't. But they're about magic, and magic's bad.
Yeah. Can I try a lore magic check to see if I know anything about Osplay or Osplain?
Okay.
Challenging or?
No, difficult.
Hey, what are the chances?
Oh, impressive success.
Okay, so a very long time ago, there was a wizard who was quite a individual wizard. Didn't sort of value human friendships or socialization with anybody. He was known to live in a tower in North Reichland, but the tower disappeared many hundreds of years ago. but he was an accomplished magician stroke wizard. It could be him,
All right.
or it could be of his family.
I really don't want to touch the demonology book.
It doesn't feel, or doesn't, especially with your second sight, it doesn't feel like it's evil. It almost feels like it's there to be learned. There's nothing evil coming from it. It's emitting no evil aura, so to speak.
Well, I'm gonna grab the Guide to Winds of Magic and have a look at that and see what that's about.
Okay, so
While
having a
are
brief
exploring the
flick
room.
over, it's quite a nice book. It's written, and it has some fabulous illustrations in there, all coloured in, very nicely done. There seems to be a large section of spells. There seems to be a large section of like taking apart bit by bit the different winds themselves and explaining a lot more and a lot deeper of what they are. But yeah, it just seems to be like quite a nice little guide with some, examples of spells within the back of it.
All right. I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna try and take the other two, put them in my satchel.
Shouldn't we burn that one?
It
I say
doesn't.
pointing at the one about demonology.
It doesn't have inherent evil in it. It may be things to avoid, things to look at, things to. It's not a grimoire. I'd be able to tell.
Yeah, it's not a grimoire, no.
Perhaps you should get someone else to look at it.
Who do you suggest?
Another wizard.
Yeah, well, I'm not opening it. I'm taking it.
Gerhard, take whatever you want, but help me find the demon that did this.
Yeah,
She has to be here somewhere.
While I'm talking, I'll be back, tapping on walls and things and looking behind things.
Yeah, you get the feeling, if these are what you hope they are, as in some form of spell books, along with teachings of how to do the spells and the different forms of magic, they would be worth a lot of money. And you know for a fact that the necromancy and demonology one would be a very rare piece indeed, because it wouldn't be something that you could go out and buy legally from a shop of some form. And books like that within like places of learning that you've been are locked away, only to be looked at by certain people. So from a selfish point of view, they are very valuable. And like I said, even with your second sight, they don't feel that the necromancy and demonology one, it's literally another book, within these three books. Yeah.
What's the third title again? Sorry, Jim.
So you've got Osplain's Guide to Magics of All Colours, Osplain's Guide to Necromancy and Demonology, and Osplain's Guide to the Winds of Magic.
Thank you again. So I'm taking them and I'm putting them in my bag, and I'm going to peruse them when no one's looking at me.
So let me get this straight. The wizard has pocketed a load of books that were owned by a wizard who then got possessed by potentially a demon.
Yeah, what could
just so we're on the same thought process and we all know what's just happened.
Yeah, Johan's not impressed.
Marin's in the hallways. I didn't see this, but he wouldn't be impressed either.
I don't know anything about demons, so
you sort of get the idea.
Listen, you pointy eared man. We all know what them humans are like. Them manlings and their books, and how easily corruptible they be. This all be evidence of what our current situation is.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, you, in your wildest of hopes, that these books could almost be a bypass to a master or a teacher. If you can get the skills and the techniques from reading these books and practicing yourself, it could be a way of going without having to shall we say,
Go back to the
license
college?
yourself,
All right.
or it would give you more freedom, so to speak, as a selfish point of view.
And definitely in no way massively corrupting.
Yeah, we'll find that out later. You can't worry about that kind of thing now. It's fine. There's no little chunks of green gemstone anywhere in the binding, or like in the bookmark, just hanging there, like fucking little cube of green. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. You just keep looking for Demonette.
I've just read from Rowdy Intellectual. It looks like I'm peering over a GM screen, and it does actually look like I'm peering over a GM screen. I'll just cackle a little bit while I roll some dice. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So yes, you're in the room. Gerhardt's found himself a little bit of interest. Johann's with him, convinced that there's some form of way out of this room, mechanical more than anything. He's called on Gerhardt to help him find things that could be magical, so with portals. What is the dwarf, the thug, and the elf doing? It almost sounds like a joke beginning.
Yeah, walk into a bar.
I could arrange that if you want.
Clonk.
I can't speak for my elven ally. I'm not saying friend yet. But I have certainly been standing in the doorway looking very disapproving at these manlings.
I'm looking for a trapdoor.
And their activities.
Screens changed there. I don't know. Did we all just move around?
Yeah, I moved.
Ugh, okay, give me a minute.
Sorry, we'll continue. So Ilmarin didn't step into the room because he hasn't yet, and he's looking. Jim, is the barrier still on the door downstairs?
What you mean to the outside?
Yes.
Yes, she put a barrier up, didn't she? So
Yeah. So that kind of says to me she's still in the area.
yeah, you would have thought so. Yeah.
And have we seen the aged priest of Sigmar knocking about? The one that was in the basement.
It's an
yeah, the last time you seen him, he was down in the
priest.
shrine area of the Ulrich. There was like a shrine to Ulrich downstairs near the dining room, and he was in there.
All right, I'm going to go find this priest of Ulrich because I think at this point in time he needs to stop praying by an altar and come and deal with some demonology crap.
Okay. As you go back onto the landing, you can hear something coming upstairs, very heavy-footed, and it is growling like a wild animal.
I say what? Can I see it?
It's pretty dark downstairs. All lights have now gone out down there. There was some screaming, and then everything went quiet.
Is it so dark that my night vision and my enhanced senses can't see what's coming up the stairs?
Okay, show off.
Me too.
Yeah. So you can see a human shape coming up the stairs, and it is holding what looks like two. They could be axes. They could be hammers. They could be some form of crude, horrid sort of clubbing weapons.
Okay. And you say it's just growling, it's not.
Yeah.
And would it happen to look like a priest of Ulrich by any chance?
It could be. It could be indeed.
I'm right. I'm going to call out to it. I'm going to call out to him. Hello, who's that?
'Tis I, Magdar, the Wild.
That's the priest of Ulrich, right?
It is indeed.
Cool. So have you come to help us with the demons?
Where is it?
We're not entirely sure, but perhaps you could divine something. And I know that the priests of the Empire are very skilled individuals with these kind of things.
Okay, he gets to the top of the stairs at the landing that you're on, and on his back, he seems to have some sort of bedroll that's attached with like a rope around his front, and he sort of strides past you into where there's light within Hagen's auntie's room. People are busy looking around walls and things and under mirrors and he sort of kneels down in the middle of the room and takes this bedroll off his back as you're all sort of stood there watching. And he looks around at you and sort of laughs, almost a wild, evil laugh, but yes. And he sort of places this bedroll on the floor.
What are you doing,
And
priest?
He sort of looks at it enviously. And he grabs hold of it and he rolls it across the floor. And there's a clanking and a clicking, and there's basically 5 axes there, small hand axes. Yeah. And on each of them is a wolf's face. Would you like to take one of these? They've been blessed. They'll be able to harm those that come from the demon realm.
I looked at Gerhardt. Gerhardt, what do you see?
Can I try and use my second sight again? See if that...
Yeah, well, without using your second sight, what you can see at the moment is a scantily dressed, rather malnourished gentleman with lots of hair,
just at that. So I can't even see
a
the
bit
axes.
of fur, yeah, fur Y fronts almost, and that's all he's wearing, along with some furry boots. And you can see some very shiny, very nice looking wolf's head axes, and it looks like they're made out of some form of animal bone, the handles.
I don't have a lot of experience with the divine. They look like axes to me.
Fair enough then. Hagen reaches over, picks one up, gets the feel of it. He's like, if the hammer can't do it, we'll try your axe, priest. But first, I'll try to put this hammer through the head of that beast for what it's done to my uncle.
I take an axe as well.
I'll take an axe.
Ilmarin,
Probably still in the other room, tapping away. So I'm probably a bit unaware of a lot of this.
The priest sort of takes a couple of steps back and starts howling, or like he's howling at the moon. And he gets one of the hand axes that he's got, and he sort of carves a big line down the middle of his chest. And with the other one, he carves another one, making a large sort of diagonal cross on his chest.
Ilmarin calls from the door. Hagen, is that normal for a priest of Ulrich?
I have no
been
idea.
They've been known to be quite mad and quite battle hardened. You've seen things like this before, this Mordek with the slayers of your kind. And you've heard stories of these priests before. They're quite sort of almost animalistic. Okay.
They have more in common with the priests of old in their practices. I would say this be familiar.
And he sort of kneels on the floor and then gets down onto all fours. And then with one of the hands that's on the floor, he reaches into his mouth and his fingers go into his mouth at the back, and then he retches and literally all his food comes up onto the floor. And then he tenses and his bowel's empty. And you notice a pull of it. I shall be giving the demon not today. It will have my axes. I will not spill my bowels in front of it. And he stands up.
Aye, Den Father. If you can find this demon, lead on so we can put it back to the hell it spawned from.
I mean, no offense, but I'm not picking up the poo-covered axes.
They're not. They're there. There might be a bit of vomit splashed on some of them, but yeah.
Imaran's not touching that with a 10-foot barge pole. Also, Imaran's belief is that this has been blessed by their gods and has nothing to do with him and would not work for him anyway because he's not human. Instead, he's going to get some oil, place it on his sword, and set his sword on fire. And in Eletharian, ask Assyrian to bless his blade, and hopefully that's enough.
Okay. What I would like from you is, I would like you to make me a challenging dex roll, please, as you light your sword blade.
Am I about to set myself?
Ilmarin, don't.
It's
burn
not
my
the
uncle's
best
house
idea.
down.
Yet.
I did.
Well,
It looks really impressive as
Oil won't stay on the
Ilmarin
blade.
walks into and he
Trickle down on your
smashes
hand.
the oil on his sword and sort of wipes the glass bit up and down his blade, and he gets another lantern and he in it goes. Did you make your dex roll?
I have indeed.
Oh no,
marginal
failure just by one.
By one.
You can adjust it with a fortune point, but
I don't have fortune points. Oh wait, we
You
get
have
those back, don't we?
Yeah,
We
you
get-
do.
no, yeah, we
Yeah.
get those back, don't we?
So- What happens is at the moment is you've gone in and this oil is obviously a little bit more flammable than what you thought, and as you it sort of flares up, and there's like a big puff of flame fills the room, and some of the drapes on the four-post of bed catch alight,
That's
and
fine.
the flames are quite sort of heavy on your sword.
Excellent. As long as I don't get burned, I'm happy to leave it like that.
Yeah, I won't be venturing too close to those flames.
It is quite a bit of a health and safety hazard at the moment, and you're
It is
sort of
gonna
trying to
dribble
keep it
down
away.
We
onto
are
your
in a
hands.
wooden building.
I mean,
And
this
you
building's
you've
got to be
just
burnt
set on
Dribble down your
fire.
hand.
Even though it's a nice sizable bedroom, it is still a bedroom, and there's like 6 of you in there, and the mad priest who
Oh no, I was in
just
the
shat
hallway.
himself.
I was in the hallway
Yeah.
still. I still hadn't come
Ah.
in the room yet.
Oh,
I didn't want to be nowhere near
So,
the
Have other people
defecating.
come in the room?
Yeah,
okay, so
that's where the defecating
you've-
priest was.
okay, so you've managed to set fire to a little bit of the door frame,
That's
but it doesn't seem to be doing much at the moment. It's just tenderly sort of.
Well, that's fine.
Licking
because-
his way up the wall.
We've already doused the uncle in oil and lit
Fire.
that. So
Yeah,
you
but
know,
my intention is that this building's going to get burned down at the end.
I'm
anyway,
pretty sure
right?
this
So-
building is already on its way to being a towering inferno. So
That's
yeah.
fine.
I assume you're keeping your sword pointed towards the floor so that it doesn't set your hand on fire. Also,
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm hoping that my blessing's going to, my prayer to Syrian's going to be heard, and the fire's going to turn blue, and it's just going to be under complete control. I have
Or
no
it'll
idea.
burn out in about 20 seconds.
Yeah. Umaran literally has no idea how this works, but he's seen like human priests do this, and he figures if he calls on his own gods, it's got to work, right? If I believe hard enough, my own gods will answer my prayers.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
His sword will get really hot and he'll have to drop it.
Okay, so you've been.
I
looking
doubt
for
there'll
quite
be
a while,
enough
but you've
oil
still
to
not-
actually heat
not
the
sort
sword
of
up noticeably.
Found anything particular. The room does smell quite heavily of
well, smoke. And
bodily fluids, and the flame didn't seem to help. It almost now smells like burnt bodily fluids, as the two sort of smells mixed together. You've gone through all the bookshelf that you can see, Johan, and you don't think that it could be here. You've sort of pulled the books, you've sort of tried to slide the bookcase, but no, there's nothing
No
to see.
mechanisms I can see.
Perhaps
No.
the thing slipped through the mirror before its magic was spent. Maybe it's elsewhere in the house.
The only thing that you haven't looked at is under the carpet, like the rug in the middle of the floor.
Yeah,
and
I mean-
there's also under the bed and there's the wardrobe.
Yeah, I mean, I would check under like rugs and things, just fling them aside. I'm looking for
Okay.
trapdoors.
Yeah,
Careful what
obviously
you fling aside.
going to say the rug on the floor is slightly more standoffish now. But you managed to obviously get a good hold of the bit that's nowhere near the sick, and you do sort of throw it back. Some of the matter sort of flicks up the wall. The priest is sort of growling at himself and sort of almost walking on the spot. He's rocking, and he's got himself into quite a sort of state of
Frenzy.
almost battle frenzy. Yeah.
I'm assuming there wasn't anything under the rug.
No, there's nothing underneath the rug.
I'll smash open the wardrobe.
Okay, so it is quite a nice looking wardrobe, but your hammer does pass through the door quite easily, along with taking it off its hinges and breaking it in half as you did that, and the door sort of folds in on itself and falls to the floor. You've also hit it that hard that your hammer has gone through the back of the wardrobe as well. There's nothing in this wardrobe, but yeah, it's gone through the back, but it's gone through the back and then some more. You're sort of holding on the edge of the handle.
I think you found the
gone
passageway.
right through.
This way, my friends. There's a passage behind this wardrobe. And Hagen will push his way through and see if he can feel for stairs or
Well, I have to
wherever
let you know that I am being pressured at the moment by the viewers for a total party kill. Yeah.
Wow,
apparently
they really
they're going to riot.
They don't want to
By a
a long
viewer,
season.
Jim.
Yeah.
Don't buy it as this Fox News stuff. By a viewer.
They clearly don't want any more of Once Upon a Time in the Old World.
Yeah.
It makes me
Well,
sad.
yeah. So yeah, the hammer has gone through, and as you sort of peek through it, it just goes through into like a round, small room with a staircase that winds round. Hagen, as you look down here, you almost get memories of this house and moving through secret passages from room to room and to different places. It was almost that these passages were built in as a defense. So if it was ever attacked, the defenders could move freely through the house and outflank and you know. No, there's no Mr. Tumnus under the side. But yeah, it almost fills you with memories of the place, although it was a long time ago and you can't remember where anything was. But these stairs descend into darkness below. There is no light.
My friends, in my shock of all that's gone on, I'd forgotten that as a child, we used to play through secret passages. They riddled this place, but there's a stairwell going down, and I'm for it. Who is coming with me?
Iman strides forward with his flaming sword. I'm with you.
Keep that thing to yourself.
Please do not burn me with that.
He's kind of waving it around like he knows, trying to pretend what he knows what he's doing with it.
I'll just be following very closely behind Hagen.
Cowlin will follow.
Dowie will shake his head disapprovingly at the elf for embarrassing the elder races in this scenario, and then also press on down into the.
I'd imagine the flames are going to disappear in a minute. They won't last very long, not without a source of fuel.
What you don't realise is every now and again, Iman flicks a little bit more oil on there.
A flick of oil
as he
will
waves
burn
it around,
in a
it
small
does seem
fraction
to
of a second.
Wafting it out. Can you make me another dex check, please? For your
If you
flicking.
set me on fire.
And...
I'm gonna.
It's blackening, isn't it?
I apologise in advance if I do anything.
All the fucking char on the outside of it.
A critical fail of some form will be bad news.
I might re-roll that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Less terrible?
It's only -3 success levels rather than
-5. Yeah.
So who is behind Ilmari?
I think it's probably me.
No, everyone's in front of me at the moment.
I would.
No, I thi-
usually at the back. So
I'm still at the doorway.
But I'm.
I think the
probably in
dwarf's probably
front.
watching you, just shaking his head. So it might be the dwarf.
So you're not ascending down the stairs then? You're just trying to keep the thing alive. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to. I'm at the back because I was outside the door and everyone started going down. I didn't think I was leading the way.
I'm usually next
so-
to Lauren, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay. So Gerhardt, you have this waft of a horrid smell. A smell that can only be one thing:
Burning hair.
burnt hair. And you sort of look around and you can see Ilmarin, and he's got this sword and he's wafting it round, and he's gaining ever more confidence, and he's dipping his fingers in this oil and he's sort of flicking it at it. And what he's unaware of is that some of the oil, as he's been flicking it, has actually landed on his own head here, and some of his hair to one side. It just seems to be blackening and going shorter.
I'm gonna grab him by the collar and go, whoa, and just like put the knives. Oil, fire, not good.
This is what the human priests do. They do some burn witches, don't they?
I'm sure they have some special trick to it. I don't think it's just.
You realise that you've burnt
Lick and
a
hope.
nice little clump of your golden locks.
I gotta like gently pull it around and just show them where it's singed at the end and be like, I'm glad that wasn't me.
That's well, it's a good job I'm not going to go see my parents anytime soon because now I don't look like a proper elf.
I'll say nothing to Mordek.
I think Mordek was standing
Mildred
right
was
there.
definitely watching and laughing.
Just be glad it
was
wasn't.
some of your hair over it and hide it. It's not
Just
like,
be glad it wasn't his beard.
Oh yeah, if it would be my beard, I would have gone mental.
I mean, wars have been started over such things.
Wars have exactly.
That's exactly how the war beard started.
Oh wow!
So-
Yeah, so Mordek will be chuckling to himself.
So those descending down the stairs, you come to the bottom of the stairs, and there's like a little corridor, only about 6 foot, and there's this big oak door that's carved, and again in the wood it's all pictures of wolves and men fighting wolves. Really impressive door. It's you could almost feel that this door is worth a whole lot of money. You know,
It's a shame we're burning the house down.
Go on, just get through that. That's where the witch will have gone.
Yeah, Hagen will push open the door with the head of the hammer if it's not locked.
So you push it, and it doesn't open,
Plan B,
and it
smash
does
it.
feel quite solid.
Plan B,
He-
pull?
Well, I'll try to see if it actually pulls or if it's locked. I'm assuming it is.
Can I see? Can I tell if it's magically locked? And if not, can I try and unlock it with magic? Because if it's not magically locked,
Make me a magical law roll.
okay. Phew.
Wow.
Never gonna roll
Wow.
like that when I actually try and unlock
Yes.
it with magic.
It does have some form of ward on the door.
Ah, balls.
So what we need is gunpowder and lots of it.
And fire.
I'll kind of reel back from it as I kind of reach out to try and figure out. I go, there's a warding spell on it. I'm not sure what it is.
Can you get past it?
If it
We
was
can't let this
if it
thing
was
get away.
non-magical, if it was non-magical, I could. Now that you have a magical weapon, can you do damage to it? Maybe.
Let us see. And Hagen rears back with his hammer and smashes it against the door.
Okay, so you hit it, and it's almost a sonic wave that comes back over everybody as your senses are sort of flattened, but the door does spring open. But everybody is sort of dazed, as to what's going on. You aren't, though, Aiden. You've still fully got your senses. You felt a sort of wave of power rush over you, but you feel protection from the hammer itself.
Ulrich, guide me and guide this hammer. And I turn back. Let's go. Shake it off.
Right with you.
And Hagen moves past the door. He's so enraged that he can barely contain himself at this point.
So the site that you're met with it's quite a well lit room with candles that are all around the floor of the room. In the middle of the room are 8 stands spread equally around a circle. And there are lines going from each of the stands into the middle. There seems to be a circle of powder of some form in the middle. And it looks like the powder has been, that the circle itself has been breached, and some of the powder has been brushed aside. On the top of each one of these stands is a small globe with what looks like black smoke running through it. On to your left, you notice a female that has been attached to the wall somehow, and she looks like she's been given a beating, or she's been in some form of battle, and it is a figure of your auntie Griselda, and stood near her with a very bad-looking evil blade, which is misshapen, and it shouldn't actually work as a sword, but this thing is old.
But I'm sure it will.
Stands there laughing and has got the sword point at the lady who is attached to the wall, her throat. No words are said by this demon. She's just cackling.
Back away from her, demon. It's time for you to go back to the hell from which you were spat.
She will die before you take another step.
If
Have
that
we
is the
kind of
price
come
that my
to a bit?
family...
Or are we still dazed?
You've come round now.
Okay,
Bang.
Okay.
Yeah. You're going to gloat about how we can't get to you before you kill her?
That's a Bruce
Bullet.
Willis, anyone else want to negotiate moment.
This is why you don't monologue in things.
Yep.
I've...
Yep. You're going to be gloating about how we can't get to you before you act? I've got a bullet.
She was going to tell you how she was going to kill everybody, and then what she was going to do next, and then for the next week after that as well.
This is my evil plan. I will tell you everything.
She's going to charge your spirit bomb 4 episodes.
Yeah, basically, as soon as I'd entered the room,
She failed to understand that we're not in a James Bond movie. We're in a Clint Eastwood spaghetti western. So
I'd have been aiming the pistol at her as soon as I walked in the room. And when she started monologuing, just...
Where
So-
are we?
Yep. There seems to be a theme with
All I'm
me and
saying is you better hit.
WFRP games of just the WFRP games I'm in. So, opponent starts monologuing. Someone in the party just goes, "No, dead."
Well, I mean,
we'll see how this goes.
If they weren't holding an evil blade to someone I've met before, that might have been a good start for their survivability.
Okay, so do we have initiative?
I think initiative is being triggered by by Johan pulling the trigger.
You can have a free shot.
Do I get a bonus for aiming? I'm trying to remember the combat rules.
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus for aiming.
So you took time to aim?
I was already aiming, and then she started talking. So bang.
So before you let loose, could you make me a cool test, please?
Ball bags.
You got +10 from the hammer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you? Oh, hang on. Modifier 10. Let's try that. I succeed.
Nice.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you. +10.
So make that roll.
Oh,
Oh.
Nice.
Center of mass. That's it.
It's gonna be like when I shot her in the toe last week. It's not gonna do anything.
Possibly.
Okay. Wow. So you do 15 damage minus 6. Okay. You hit it squarely in the body, and it sort of knocks it back into the wall. It's still holding on to its weapon, but it's bleeding quite heavily from the hole that you just put in the middle of it.
Is it susceptible to cool tests? Because it has to take one if it is, because otherwise it will gain a broken condition.
Yeah,
and get
no, this
shot by a
one,
black
this,
powder weapon.
yeah, this one seems to be dealing with everything quite well. No.
Damn it. I assumed it probably would, but worth an
It's
ask.
a good try.
Yeah,
Psychology.
I just,
Of course.
believe.
Not that we know it's a demon.
On the other hand,
was worth
bullet
a shot.
through its chest.
Through
It looks like you've
corporeal
injured
form.
it. I need to go AFK for a bit. Do we want to go have a brief break before we start this? Or
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
nip
So
off and come
yeah,
back?
we'll have a brief break for everybody to go to the toilet and to get a drink and whatever, and we'll join everybody back in 5 minutes. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of episode 7. And the party has just engaged a quite horrible-looking demon-ish
Thing.
thing. Yeah. So Johan lets loose a shot that it's square in the chest, and black ichor runs from the wound, but it looks like it's just wounded it rather than it's just angered it almost. As it moves with almost just pure speed towards you. I take it everybody is behind Hagen. Is that right?
Of course.
Pretty much, I think.
Mostly because the rest of us were slightly busy
the
going,
rest of us
oh,
were-
my head. All right, yes.
So
Years of
Hagen,
experience have taught me it's the best place to be.
this thing swings this black, aggressive, horrible, nasty weapon, blade, whatever you'd call it, at you.
I try to swing my hammer
Oh my
around to
goodness
deflect the
me.
blade.
And with godlike demon accuracy, misses.
Well, it depends how Hagen.
He
Well,
might-
yeah,
yeah,
it
do
depends.
worse.
But
Oh yeah, that's a miss.
Oh, that's a bad miss.
Wow.
Oh, it's good for Hagen, though.
It's a
That's
bad miss.
advantage.
I'll
It
take
is
my
a
point of
button.
advantage. So I bring around the hammer and block it. And is it whose go is it
Easily.
now? You won't get me so easily, demon. You'll pay for what you've done to my uncle and my family.
Okay. Ilmarin.
So, as the hammer blocks and the black powder smoke drifts through the air, coming through the mist of the smoke comes Ilmarin brandishing this flaming sword. So he's gonna like do this little pirouette. He's gonna almost look like he knows a little bit of what he's doing, and he's gonna look very serious for Ilmarin.
I don't know if you do. You've got a
move-
sword on fire.
Yeah, you move with elf-like grace through the middle of this group of your friends and companions. Could you make me a dex roll, please?
Can I have an athletics roll instead?
Yes. Yeah, well, why not? But you won't have a reroll on it.
That's fine.
Oh no!
Oh,
I've
dear.
just set everybody on fire as I run through.
Okay.
I'd like to pass a goddamn roll tonight. Bloody
We're on the way back.
game.
Well, I know how you're feeling. Yeah, my sort of brickard demon has just smashed herself against Agen's hammer. Right. So we need to just roll a dice. In fact, could one of you roll a 1, 2, 3? Roll a d6 for me, please. 6 doesn't count.
2.
Johan.
Fuck yourself.
So
You played yourself, fool.
I just rolled a dice.
Ilmarin comes through the middle of you doing this graceful web of death. But he almost seems to be fueling the fire of this web of death by flicking oil at it. And as he goes past you, you get caught with a bit of oil, and the sword goes past you, and it's sort of your sort of coat is caught alight.
Just a little
More
bit, right?
worryingly, it's on the same side as where you keep your gunpowder.
I don't keep my gunpowder on my coat. That would be stupid.
No, but the bag that it's on the same side. It's not near it, but it is on the same side, and it's almost the first thing that you think of as the smell of black powder fills the air as you just recently let off your gun. It isn't damaging you at any point, but you are alight.
Oh my god.
Can I put
Okay.
it out?
Absolutely. When it
In
comes
my
around
turn,
to you,
yeah.
yes, you can. Yeah. Ilmarin, make me a
Now, is there a bonus for charging? Because that's what I'm doing right now.
Gives you an automatic advantage.
I'm going to make the call that you're not actually charging because you're literally running through. You're manoeuvring through, although
Okay.
very gracefully.
But
Not really.
Yeah.
it is time to redeem yourself.
Yeah.
setting
And,
setting
yeah,
someone else
so-
on fire.
Yeah, you're not getting your
Little bit
charge
of fire.
bonus there, no.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Why can't I
It's still
pass a
got to roll
goddamn
defense.
roll?
It still has to roll
No,
defense.
I am
Yeah.
re-rolling this. I am re-rolling this.
You might want to wait and see what he gets first.
Oh, do I have to? Can I do that?
You can wait, yeah.
Okay,
Of
I'm
course,
going
yeah.
to wait.
He has to roll to defend himself. Oh, blimey.
Because you're probably not going to hit
Ooh, yeah.
a
I
5.
probably
Yeah.
wouldn't bother.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
I don't think you can.
Ah,
You needed a crit to pass.
Yeah, I know, but I was going for it. He's gonna come steaming in. Like it's.
Damn it, it's got advantage.
He thought it
Okay.
looked like he knew what he was doing. He clearly didn't know what he was doing.
Does
And
it
I am
just-
going to stop playing tonight because I have not passed a single roll yet.
And he's taking his ball with
Rage
him
quit.
as well.
Does it just grab the blade?
That's where I am.
It is. I would have to say at this point, though, Dan, you say that you're going to quit and you're not doing very well, but you have done more damage to the party than a demon has. Yeah, so
I'm doing my
let's
best. I'm doing my best.
You've damaged your own hair and you've damaged Johan's very nice coat.
More deck.
Oh, I'm
will
not
be
wearing a nice coat at the moment. My fancy
It
clothes
is
on.
nice to what these guys wear, to be fair. Yeah,
Mordek is going to grumble to himself, how the hell did the elves ever win the war in the first place?
They didn't. They
Well, they
lost.
didn't. It was a draw.
No,
It was a
they
draw.
lost.
It was a draw.
How did,
Okay, so Hagen,
All right, so now we outnumber this 2-1, right?
Yes, you do.
Mm.
All right. So that's a plus 20.
Damn
Don't
you,
forget
pesky
gained
kid.
Gonna
advantage
need
for
it.
successfully defending.
Yep, got that.
Oh my god.
my word!
20 damage. You must well tell how it.
Wow.
Do it.
Oh god!
To the head!
It's just not there.
And it's a magic weapon.
How are you on
Vengeance.
20? That's mental.
Because he's got like plus 30
He's
from.
got plus 30, yeah.
Yeah, plus 30 to hit right now. One advantage since we outnumber it.
I mean, that's quite a good roll.
That's
but
a
it's
fair
not
go,
plus
but
8.
it's not. That's just.
So, you,
So
And it's
mere
got
50.
advantage
Beat
as
it
well.
by-
It
Only
adds
15.
advantage. Yeah, so it's got the advantage as well. So
oh, so only 14 damage.
yeah.
Okay.
Only 14 damage to the face.
And it doesn't have
Okay, so-
advantage anymore.
But I get
So-
2 advantage.
You sort of lift your hammer backwards and you bring down this hammer, and the demon sort of raises this horrid sword blade type thing up above its head, and you're met with quite a solid block, but the hammer just keeps on traveling, and this block sort of gives way and the blade breaks, and your hammer comes down on top of this demon's skull, which in turn splits open, and it buries itself even deeper into its head and into its neck, and its head literally pops, spreading ichor all over your and Ilmarin's good souls.
By Ulrich, I told you we would send you back to hell thing.
And it
Did the
drops into the
Did the Ica
floor.
put my sword out? Is it no
No.
longer on fire? Yeah, my
No,
sword's
no.
still on fire.
Well, we could make the ichor flammable. No,
Let's not do that.
no.
The ichor you're covered in.
Let's not go there.
And at that, after it falls, Hagen, puts the hammer head down against the floor. It almost seems to deflate a little. And he turns, he says, "Someone please see to my aunt. Let us find
It
out if she
seems-
was complicit in this."
I'll be going, stupid elves.
Did we beat
so
it, or is it
As
run
you
away?
as you put
We
the
don't
hammer
know yet.
down, there is like a high-pitched whistling sound coming from the body of the demon or whatever it is itself, and it seems to be air releasing itself from it, and it almost liquefies in front of you and becomes a pool on the floor, and then it dissolves away into nothingness.
Cool.
My friends, we must consecrate this unholy place with the fires of Ulrich and Sigmar, and we must find out if my aunt was complicit in this crime.
Hagen, comes the voice from this
It-
tied by the wrists woman on the
Yes.
So
I'll
I
move
put
over.
myself out.
You must stop the ritual.
What ritual, aunt? How do we stop it?
And her head slumps forward.
Gerhard, is there what ritual? I don't know of these things.
I never read on what I assume is demonology. Let's get her down anyway.
Jim,
It's got to
is
have
the-
something to do with the
Have I
market.
put myself out, Jim?
Yes. Yeah. You
Okay,
patted
I'd imagine
yourself
I'm quite experienced at putting out fires, given my
Yeah.
profession.
Jim,
you actually are quite pleased with how you dealt with that. So if you were almost the manager of a engineering business, and you got your health and safety regulations, and you had a bit of a fire drill every now and again. Yeah, you put this fire that could have caused trouble because it was near the satchel that you keep the pouches that you keep your gunpowder in. You put it out in seconds flat. And in fact, you're probably judging that as a record, and you do sort of take a little bit of a note to yourself and sort of smile inwards that all is well in the world of Johann. Yeah, it was good.
The elf's incompetent, but you're good.
Yeah, the elf, burnt head bastard. Yeah.
Now thinking how I can make a sword just be on fire.
Carolyn has headed over to Griselda and is going to try and get her down. Cut the bonds.
Jim, those globes, that black
Yes.
smoke inside it, does it look similar as the black smoke that's around the building?
Yes, and it's shifting to purple now.
Can we
Smash them.
smash them?
I thought you were going to say Imara's going to walk up with his flaming sword and
Yeah.
try to smash one.
You got a reroll as well.
Okay, so how are you going to attempt to smash said globe?
You've got a bow, just saying.
Yeah, valid point. I guess Ilmarin would have probably gained some of his senses now and actually gone back to being mildly sensible. So what he's going to do, he's going to stab his sword in the floor while it's still on fire, and then he's going to light an arrow and aim at one of the
Okay.
globes.
Now, you're not completely incompetent. Yeah, so I'm going to give you this advice. It's a round piece of glass that's probably, it's like some form of orb itself. So to fire an arrow at it, you'd have to do a really good shot to hit it square, yeah, for it to do proper damage. If you're off by a slight, the actual roundness of the globe would literally take most of the impact away and it'd sort of deflect it. So to fire a pointed weapon at the globe probably it could do the job, but it would be a very good roll or a very good shot that would make
I'm due one, right?
It would, however, knock even if the arrow's deflected, the kinetic force of it would knock the globe off the pedestal.
potentially.
It's on a
But
stone
what is it? What is the globes? How are the globes sitting? If they're
Oh, that's
sitting,
true.
and it does look like they're quite deep.
They might be in a
into-
recess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hagen sees Ilmarin getting out his bow and lighting an arrow, and he just goes over to one of the pedestals with his hammer and brings it down on one of those globes.
I'd be careful if I were you. I just
Ilmarin
launched
has
an arrow.
moments.
He's raged. He's
Hey,
still enraged. He's like, this has got to be stopped.
just shut up and let me take it. Look, like rolled well.
He
rolled
succeeded.
well.
Give him a
That's
minute.
very nice. That is very nice.
So Hagen sort of strides forward. You release an arrow, and you
Excellent,
hit
lefty.
it. Unfortunately, it glances away.
Outrageous. I got 3 successes.
I think you needed a crit.
As you're about to loose your arrow, this voice inside your head: "Do not disrupt the ritual."
Was I the only one that heard that?
Heard what?
What are
I'm
you
assuming
talking about,
we
Ilmarin?
didn't hear it.
I'm going with yes.
And then
There's a voice
there.
said, "Do not disrupt the ritual. Disrupt the ritual. Disrupt the ritual."
I'm going to use the axe to try and hit one of them, given that it was consecrated. I'm hoping that.
Oh,
So,
good
Hagen,
plan.
Yeah, Hagen, you rush forward with your hammer.
Hit it like a
Okay,
baseball.
okay. So you hit it. Did you hit it?
I'm pulling it up right now. So I'm just got to change my modifiers real quick.
I'm assuming you'd
I'm
get
not-
quite a
in-
big
in
bonus
fact-
for
in
hitting a
fact, yeah, I'm
static
going to say
object.
it's static object. I'm not going to make you roll. You walk up. and
It's a
you bring
blunt.
your hammer down on top of it, and it literally obliterates. And black and purple smoke pour out of it, and it just obliterates to the floor. And
What
this
is-
smoke sort of elevates to the ceiling and sort of covers the ceiling ever so slightly, but seems to be diminishing away.
What's the crazy priest been doing during this?
He's still upstairs.
Still shitting on the carpet.
I thought he was going to come down with us to
I thought
fight
he was
the
going down with us as well. Wasn't that the
demon
whole
thing.
point?
He didn't follow for some reason.
Okay.
We'll question him when we get upstairs. Let's destroy the rest of these globes.
The voice that was in my head, Jim, did it sound like a?
It sounded exactly like the voice that you heard before.
Not
I
the
don't like
crystal
that voice.
No.
Well, there's another hat stand coming for him. They're going to try and hit
I
the
don't like that voice. It gave me corruption points.
allegedly consecrated axe. But I don't have any
So,
stats.
Gerhardt, you have one of these axes. You bring it down on the globe. As you're about to take the swing at it, you hear a voice inside your head. Do not disrupt the ritual.
Can I opt into a cool check? Because I'm a bit rattled.
Okay, go for it.
It's a really poor choice because I always roll badly on these. But I feel
You're
like
a wizard. Your response should be, "What's in it for me?"
I'm a fucking apprentice wizard. Come on. -1. I'm gonna use a fortune point to adjust that, so it's a flat success.
Yeah, you hold it together.
But I nearly don't.
Power will be yours.
I'm gonna try and hit it with the axe.
Okay. You don't need to roll. You've just sort of smacked it. Again, it breaks and black and purple smoke rise from it.
I'm gonna say
dissipates
to the
at the
voice,
ceiling.
to the room in general. I've seen what your power can do and what it does to people.
See, I wasn't the only one that heard it. Gerhardt heard it.
Is Hagen's aunt actually dead, or is she just unconscious?
So
That's what I'm trying to
Caroline
figure
is-
out.
Yeah.
I would probably have gone to help.
Okay, yeah, she's in a very bad way. She's unconscious now. She
anyone
doesn't
know
look like
medicine?
she's got physical wounds on her though. She looks like she's almost been drained, shall we say?
Okay, can I try and give her a bit of water?
Okay.
You know, just kind of a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So you and Carolyn are
Trying to help
dealing
her, yeah.
with Griselda.
Although
Okay.
I have reloaded my pistol. That was my first
no problem.
priority.
Axe in the other hand.
Lady gun. Get the gun. Okay. Where are we now? We're at Mordek, I believe. What would you like to do, Mordek?
Well, I'm covering the rear, making sure no one's coming up behind us, but I'm quite
Okay.
interested in the fact that the priest didn't come down with us.
So I take it, yeah.
So I might.
You can hear from up the stairs some commotion, and you can hear what sounds like fighting.
I'm running up the stairs.
Okay. So you run back up the stairs.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody down in this room sees Mordek sort of look excited and disappear off back up the stairs.
Well, I'll tell you what, these manlings know how to throw a party.
So between the three of you, you smash these globes, and every time one breaks, the smoke goes up, and there is a sort of residue of smoke and that on the floor, but there doesn't seem to be anything happening any more than that.
We're like
There is
materializing
2 left.
upstairs.
Knock them sideways so you're not smashing them all in the pattern. Johan will shout.
Good call, Johan. So I'll
So
take a
you're gonna
side
knock
swing
them
at
back-
one.
And I'll also shout, "Where's the dwarf gone?"
Gerhardt, with your knowledge of magic, should we break this dusty circle on the floor as well, just to make sure?
I mean, I would assume yes.
The circle has been broken.
I mean, really break it, like dustpan and
Okay.
wash the crap
Yeah,
out
cool.
of that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can start kicking it round.
Get the dice in it.
So
Someone get the vacuum.
Hagen.
Where's
and
Henry?
Gerhardt, are you smashing the last 2 globes?
We're going to
sideways,
the
or-
demonically possessed Henry Hoover.
Yes.
Okay. So as the final globe hits the floor, again it dissipates up into the ceiling, and the remainder of the black and purple smoke starts swirling and swirling round. Yeah, and almost it becomes noisy, almost like a storm. Yeah, and it seems to pull everything together, and then it's sort of spinning and spinning round, and it hits the center of where the circle was. Yeah, and it starts pirouetting upwards into a big column of purple and black smoke. And then,
At that point, I start
if
dragging
it's-
Hagen's aunt out of the room.
yeah. Is it?
How to respond to that?
No,
Neither do I.
Sorry, Jason,
Neither do
Bob.
I. I'll just
It
pick her
seems
up
to
and
be-
move because I've got
as it
strength
goes
44.
round
I'm
and
pretty
round
sure I
and
can just
round.
carry her.
Yeah, I'll be helping you.
Hagen and Gerhardt, you start to see it interacting with the actual surroundings itself. and this horrible feeling sort of hits you, Gerhardt, as you can see this column of smoke as it spins round and round, and it's bouncing off this powder as it hits the walls of what has been sort of created, and then it starts to sort of ripple out of every time there's a break in the powder, it ripples out, and then all of a sudden it just releases itself out into the room as if it's broke from this circle of powder through every sort of
Well,
break in
shit.
the powder that there was.
Oh,
Okay,
dear.
there is a large, again, sort of sonic boom, and everything goes black. And then candle lights appear. And you're in a different room. It's almost like the dining room upstairs, but much more opulent. And it's almost princely, this room. And there are 7 chairs around this table. And Mordek comes screaming through this door into the room. And you're back where you started, Mordek, you've gone running into this, what you thought was out the doorway, and you ended up back down in a room with your colleagues.
But in the
All
same
over
opulent.
but which is obviously a different room. And in the middle of the table are just meats and breads and cheeses, cakes, but there's just absolutely an abundance of it and lots of it. It's piled high.
Imran
it's
turns to everyone and
literally
goes, touch nothing.
a mountain of food, but the table seems to be big enough to carry it, and around the walls and on the floor is piles of gold coins, and around these black, almost velvet type walls are paintings. On each painting, it's just black.
Gerhardt, what kind of sorcery is this? Where are we? What's happened?
Hey, I was just running upstairs. What? How did I get back in here?
It was
Ha-
a
Tim?
shadowy tornado exploded, and
How does Ilmarin's soul feel right about now?
In what
Delicious
way?
to Slanesh.
As in, does it feel like it's being pulled or tugged or
Feels like
generally?
it's being licked.
Just slightly
Licked.
No. This is really important. So Ilmarin feeling very, very uneasy right now, and actually whispers because now he's very nervous. Everyone in the room can genuinely tell that Ilmarin looks almost terrified at this point in time. And I will do a call test after.
Yeah, but you've looked terrified every fight we've been in.
No, I haven't. Ilmarin has never looked terrified in front of any of
Ilmarin
you.
has acted terrified.
Yeah,
No,
but
he's opted out of a lot of fights by being like, yeah, you guys probably don't need me.
Yeah.
He's never been like,
That's not how we remember it.
Ilmarin, yeah, but okay, that aside, Ilmarin visibly looks terrified right now, like genuinely soul-shattering terrified. And it just in a single word, Slanesh's Hall. That's 2 words, but he says it's 1 word. Okay, single word, because he's so
But
scared.
what now?
And I'm gonna do
How
a
are you
call
going
test.
to defend yourself, Ilmarin?
I'm gonna cower on the
You
floor.
are right. Are you going to go fetal? Are you going to get weapons ready?
Well, let's see how my call test goes, and that will determine. I go fetal. I'm on the floor. Ilmarin is visibly terrified. He doesn't know how to handle the situation.
Ilmarin drops to the floor and literally hugs his knees and puts his head also in between his knees, which he's hugging very strongly.
I'm not
Hey,
sure.
hey up, by gum. What you doing, you pointy-eared git?
To
Get
what
up off that floor.
To what extent would a practitioner of magic know specifically chaos gods? As in, they just know that chaos is bad, but they don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you
would I know
very,
what
very
Slanesh is?
little.
You
I
would
know the
know.
elves have their special
Yeah,
relationship.
you would have heard of different. It's just chaos. Very bad. The distinctions of chaos. No, you probably unless you were studied in that form. Then.
Or an elf.
Although
Bad,
if
bad,
the elf
bad,
says
bad,
Slanesh,
bad.
it would feel bad to all of us when he says it.
Yeah. Almost it feels as though
Wrong.
something has licked you all. You got saliva.
But where?
Very viscous saliva all over you. From
On our
the bottom of your
Big
boots
tongue.
to the top of your head, up your face, up your nostrils, in your ears.
Right up in there. Okay.
Your hair looks like something out of There's Something About Mary.
Ghostbusters.
Ilmarin's just on the floor babbling in Elefarian. You can't understand what he's saying. But he's talking.
Do I
What
have
kind of
say?
hell?
I say, can
Jim.
someone here please be telling me what be going on right now?
Jim,
I'll just
do I
have weapons out looking around.
Do I have an
Okay,
unconscious woman draped over my shoulder still?
By the way, you didn't get a chat reroll.
You ready your weapon, but as you look down at it, you're holding a golden pistol, an ornament. And as you look at it, it looks like a lighter of some form, but it is absolutely amazingly crafted. And it's a fantastic bit of jewelry come craftsmanship. And as an engineer yourself, you know that this item here would be, you'd have to pay a king's ransom for it. It's special. And almost in a panic, you sort of reach for other weapons, and as you pull them from Scoward, it's almost
I was
like
pulling a pistol
small,
and a sword. I'm ambidextrous.
Again, in your other hand is a statue.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh,
Could you
dear.
please repeat it?
It's
I
a
hate
statue.
Surrey. Yeah. You've got a statue. It looks like yourself holding a gun and a sword.
I'm just gonna think logical. This is a hallucination. They are what they are. I'm gonna basically be locked in my own head, going, "They are what they are." I'm just gonna ignore what my eyes are telling me. My head's telling me that it's a pistol and a sword.
Okay.
Given all of
Hagen,
the bizarre stuff.
You
Engineer
sort of
logic.
look worriedly over at Johan, and then you sort of strengthen yourself into the fear. This isn't phasing you at all, because after all, you're holding this golden broomstick with a golden head. But although you're confused, you don't feel any sort of fear, or you don't feel any sort of dread. It's as if whatever you're holding is still keeping you intact. It's still giving you strength. Carolyn,
Have I still got an unconscious woman draped on my shoulder?
Yeah. She's not moved in any way. You just notice that there's lots of gold, more gold than you've ever seen in all your time as a thug working for certain guilds and whatever. Yeah, this is almost delicious.
I think she's just about smart enough to understand that piles of gold come with a price, and the price attached to this particular set of piles of gold is almost certainly far more than she is willing to pay.
Yeah.
She has an axe in one hand, an unconscious woman draped over the other, and is waiting for someone smarter than her to figure out what the hell they do next.
Jim,
Yes.
given that there's an absolute assload of gold, and gold is a very heavy metal and should be emanating fuck tons of Shamon.
Yeah.
Which, is kind of my wheelhouse. Can I tell if, the gold is real, or if anything, what specifically is going on with kind of, not that I want to take the gold, but I just want to try and figure out what's going on. I should have some idea of how much of this is real and how much of it is imagined, or
It looks all real.
so it's winds of magic are still there and doing their thing.
Yeah. You, from your knowledge of metals and things, and your sort of knowledge of magic in a way, it's almost as if you're not where you were, but you've travelled to somewhere else where this in here is almost real.
All right. So that means we have, in some sense, physically traveled, because otherwise, if it was a mental construct, it would be more obvious. Okay. Cool.
Mordek, what are you doing?
I'm going to hit something.
With what?
Is there a door?
Is there a door? There's the door that you ran through. Yeah, you can, as you turn around to walk back through. No, the door's not there anymore.
Is there? Well, okay. The table's made out of quite thick wood, isn't it? So it's quite hefty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got
you
an
do have
axe.
your trusty axe. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to start hacking at the table.
Okay. You sort of get your axe out and you pull it out, and you've got this loot of gold. Yeah, and it's got golden strings on it. Yeah. A very elf-like weapon.
What be this?
Say do what you were going to do, Mordek.
There is a ringing of a bell. And then on the south wall of this room, towards the head of the table, a door opens out of the wall, and into the room come two pink creatures that are malformed. They have extra limbs, and they're carrying two big golden trays each with beautiful golden goblets on them. And they are just sort of moving around you, offering you these.
I wave my feather duster at them.
Hey, like my old man used to say, when in doubt, hit it. So I'm going to go and smash one in the face.
Okay.
I have an unconscious woman over my left shoulder. I'm kind of not
Mordek's fear of panic is being channeled through his dowie mind of just, I'm going to
hit something. Hit it with the loot. You'll get the Saturn. You'll either break them or the loot or both, and either way, it's all good.
Make me an attack.
Okay.
What is your weapon skill loot?
It's the hand weapon.
Use hand weapon. Okay.
Yeah.
Melee basic.
Melee basic. Let me go to skills. Melee basic. Okay. Hit. Marginal success.
Okay. So you hit it in its arm, and it recoils back and screams, or looks like it's screaming, but no noise comes out of its mouth. And it recoils back and sort of cowers at the wall. The bell starts ringing again. And this thing then starts writhing against the wall. And you all feel yourselves being pulled towards the chairs.
Can we resist?
You can try.
I'm going with trying to resist.
Willpower roll, or what are we rolling?
You can make a willpower. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I had something for this. Does my magic resistance come into effect at all? What does that do?
It kind of helps you when someone's casting magic at you.
Oh, okay, so it's not direct spell, is it? Reduced for 2 points.
No.
It makes it harder for them to cast magic at you.
I'm going to sit down.
I suspect that whoever's making
Gerhard,
these
you feel
rolls
this
has
is
enough
part of your
success levels.
environment. It was triggered by this creature getting hit.
I feel that the command to sit was triggered by the creature getting hit.
Yeah. You can make willpower rolls if you want.
I'm going to sit down.
I focus on the golden broom in my hand, hoping that it's still a hammer, and attempt to resist with my willpower.
So is it cool or just willpower?
Just willpower.
Oh, wow.
Woo!
Wow.
That's bad.
Cool.
Wow.
That's some bad rolls there, guys. Hold on.
I'll use
Yes, impressive success.
I'll use my,
I'll use a fortune point to pass mine.
Did someone say I got a reroll from the crowd earlier?
Yeah, I've got a
Yes,
reroll. I'm
viewers.
going to give it a shot.
Can I spend a second fortune point to convert that re-rolled 39 into a marginal success?
Yes, you can.
Yay! I'll spend 2
So,
fortune points.
Those of you that have passed, you've
'Cause
stopped yourself
93
moving,
is
but
not
you
what I
feel
want.
Very fatigued, as if you need to sit down, and you're resisting the urge of moving towards the chair.
I just walked over and sat down.
Imarin's in a chair.
Yeah, I sat
The
down
door
too.
opens again where these creatures came from. That it was wall again.
Teleported
And
us here. They
in
can teleport us
through-
into chairs.
In through the door walks this very slim figure, but very tall. You estimate it's about 7.5 feet tall, and it is
Slender man.
Everything's tall.
dressed.
Everything's tall to a dwarf.
Dwarf, yeah.
It's dressed in a very opulent robe with a hood that covers its face. It's down that low, and this robe is reds, pinks, and purples, golds, and it looks like there's metal, in fact, sewn into it. That this gold is in, and like it's sort of embedded into the cloak itself, almost used as thread. And it walks in, it pulls the seat out, and it sits down.
I
And-
want to try and hit it again as it's going to
Okay.
sit down. Because my kind of mentality here is that a dwarf resistance, that mentality to fight back and just be a
Go for it.
stubborn ass beardy little sod.
Absolutely.
And
So
I'm going to go and hit it again.
make me a difficult roll, please.
To hit.
Willpower. No, willpower.
Difficult
please.
willpower. Oh, right, okay. Hold on. Challenging. Let me just change it to
Difficult, it's -10.
difficult
think.
-10, and I will roll. Marginal failure. But
Use a
I-
fortune point to turn it into a success.
yes, if I've got any. Hold on.
I think you get 2 per session from memory.
In which case, yes, I will use a fortune point, please.
Go for it.
If I can find them on my couch. There they are. So do I roll again, or does it become a success?
Roll to hit. Roll to hit.
I'll roll to hit. Oh, thank you very much.
My understanding is you can just give yourself basically a +10 fortune point.
Roger that. All right, melee basic.
Hit it with your
Whoa.
loot.
Thumble. So I'll be wanting to re-roll that one as well.
Dan, you've just been given a reroll by someone.
Thank you very much. I'll do that instead, if I may. Is that okay?
By Gerald.
Thank you very much, Gerald. I appreciate it because I really don't want to do an impressive fumble. Roll again.
Decide if it was Gerald or if it was Garol.
Gerald, still an impressive failure. It's not
But
as
you
bad.
didn't fumble.
You swing at him, and he doesn't. This thing doesn't even move. But you sort of hit the chair behind him, and the weapon literally, well, the loot, it isn't a weapon. It's just this ornate sort of instrument that doesn't work anyway. It obliterates and dissipates. And it moves its hand. Please, dwarf, take a seat.
Yup, I prefer to stand.
And the figure raises its head, and beneath the hood is an attractive woman's face, and it speaks again. And this time it speaks in a female voice. I would be grateful if you sat. And it lowers its head again.
I'm really sorry, guys. I think my stubborn dwarf mentality is probably going to get in the way here. And I will say again, up, lass. I prefer to stand.
And it raises its head again. And this time you're met with the vision of an ebony-haired, mature man with an impressive looking beard. If you wish to stand, then please stand. I wish none of you harm. I just wish to speak. As you can see, I am rich indeed. And this could all be yours. But I understand. You have dreams, you have ambitions. And to some honourable men, money is not enough. For instance, Hagen, or should I say Sir Hagen, who will one day become the grandfather of the Knights of the Wolf. And he sort of looks over and raises his hand towards one of the paintings. And you look at this painting that was once a black canvas, and it's now an older looking Hagen stood, and what looks like him giving a speech to a battalion of these knights, and they're all sort of raised their hands with the weapons and their arrows, and they're cheering towards him as he holds aloft Hammerzeit, Zeist.
Hammerzeit?
And Johann, of course. Such an intelligent individual, so gifted with machinery. One day you will become the royal engineer, working with the emperor himself. And he gestures over to another painting, and there's you, and what looks like a younger version of you as well. And you're holding some multi-barreled cannon that is made. It's pristine, and the wood that it's made, the detailing on this cannon is incredible. And the emperor is almost bowing towards you, as if gesturing to your greatness, to your, of how well you've sort of captured, what he wanted, what he described to you. And I don't forget you, dwarf, as well. I've heard of your deeds already. I've watched you from afar.
Wolf snarls a bit.
And the way that you recaptured the mines from the filthy foul spawn, the greenskins. And he gestures to another painting. And there's you standing amongst your brothers with the biggest troll's head that you've seen in your left arm, your right arm. And it's that big. The bottom of its neck is almost touching the floor. Yeah, as you hold it by the scuff of its tiny bit of hair at the top.
It can't be real. I don't have an arrow in my head.
Gerhardt, you will become a master in your own right, but an individual master tied to nothing. It shows you this painting, and it is this sort of field with golden wheating, and in the middle of this field is this huge tower. Yeah, and it rises, and you can see in the window is you can see as if you're right next to it, and you zoom in, and it's you there in this tower. And lastly, Carolyn. The path's across for you. And he reaches for two sort of paintings. In one, there's you there sort of praying to this monument of what looks like Ulrich. And in another, you're in a tavern filled with scoundrels and rapscallions. And again, you're on the head of the table, and you're with your foot up onto the table in a jaunty sort of manner, drinking a tankard of ale with all these people respecting you. I could bring you all this, and I ask for nothing. You've met something that must be destroyed. And all I want you to do is destroy this thing, and I will grant you this.
So the thing that is looking a bit like a cigarette lighter or whatever it was,
Yeah.
I'm gonna going by his logic of this is all an illusion. I'm gonna basically shoot it like it's a gun at this thing.
Okay. You pull it out and you aim at him, and you pull the trigger, and this light little flame comes out the end. And he reaches into.
Pulls out.
She reaches into her robe, and she pulls out this big cigar.
I'll immediately release the trigger once it's not apparent it's not a gun.
And she reaches over to you, and a golden lock sort of flow out from the hood. Please take.
I do not.
I will tell you this now. I only serve Father Winter, Grandfather Wolf, Ulrich, Lord of War, and no other. My path is to be set by his will and his will alone.
Grandmaster Hagen. The voice is still a female voice. You speak the truth, and I don't disbelieve you, but you have to understand that your old father, Ulrich, he came from somewhere, as did my master, as did other people's masters, as does many more dangerous masters. And it is important that no matter your calling, we all stand together in stopping an event happening that will cast all life into doubt.
Speak plainly. What is it that you're asking of us? And know this, we will not take any gifts you offer us. If we choose to walk this path, it will be because we believe it is righteous, not at your whim.
You have met a creature of my friend, and for the first time she acknowledges Ilmarin. A brother of Ilmarin, but of darker deeds.
I'm going to start singing a Sigmarite hymn.
Ilmarin is still babbling in an Eltharian.
I understand your reluctance. I mean, one could only imagine that I was some form of demon or evil being, but I can assure you that is not the case. And she looks down at the table and she takes out of her robe a pile of golden coins. And as she takes one from the top, she says, Hagen. And you all notice that as she shows you this coin, Hagen's face is on the coin, and she puts it down. Then she pulls another one out, more deck, and she puts it down. And then he takes another one, Johann, and Johann's face is on it. As you're singing your Sigmar, Gerhard, the same happens again, lays it down. Carolyn. And again, your face appears and he lays it down. And then the voice turns female again. And she lifts a coin up with Ilmarin's face on it. And my favourite, Ilmarin.
Ilmarin is still babbling to himself in Eletharian.
She licks the coin and she places it down.
Does he feel it? He does.
I ask you one thing, and I give you free will choice. At the back of the room are the two doors that you entered in from. And of course, you didn't enter in any door at all. But as you look behind you, there are indeed two doors there. And there is a slot in each door. Simply go and choose a door. Choose to help or choose to ignore. Take the coin and you can leave. Don't take the coin and you'll stay feasting with me forever. But I will have to leave from time to time to deal with the situation. But your stomachs will never be empty. Firstly, Gerhard. Make a choice, Gerhard. And she leans over and her arm extends until this coin is virtually right in front of your face.
I'm not going to take it. I just lower my head. Go. No.
She places it in front of you. Hagen. The coin comes over towards you.
I grip this golden broom handle with both my hands and lay my forehead against it. And I just pray to Father Ulrich for guidance and spiritual salvation.
As you pray for guidance, you almost all of a sudden feel the normal warmth that you get from prayer and the shielding that your faith gives you. It's not there. Wherever you are is away from your Lord's light.
Hagen shudders
And
a bit
even-
when he realizes that.
Absolutely, yeah. You shudder, but you're still holding it together. You know, Ulrich works in mysterious ways, as do all the gods. But he's not with you at the moment, which does obviously spell bad for you. And the coin is there. Hagen. And she places it in front of you. And she follows you one by one and passes you all the coins out. Is anybody taking one? Okay.
Which
Oh, thank
door
you.
is which?
There are just two doors at the end, and that's it.
Sorry, Carolyn
They
is
both
asking.
look the same.
She is asking which door is which.
Take the right one. And you agree to help me. Take the left one and you go back to your lives, and maybe we'll meet in the future, because I'm sure our paths will cross with what is coming to the old world.
Still haven't told us what it is that you want of us. You've only said that it involves some dark elf.
I keep many secrets, my friend. I'm not willing to part with everything. I'll part with my name to show a faith of goodness and hope for you. I am Slinvold, the Masterless.
Ordeck shrugs.
I give you one more chance to leave with the knowledge of the choice you make.
Carolyn
Or it's
is
down
going
to you.
to Carolyn is going to take the coin. She's going to go through the left door because
Which
she's
is-
got the leave to back to her own life door because
Okay.
she's still got an unconscious woman on her shoulder. She has a very literal weight of responsibility on her shoulder right now.
Okay, you put the coin in the door and the door opens. And there is blackness beyond, but it seems to shimmer.
I'll give it a go.
You walk out. And Carolyn is gone.
Yep.
Ilmarin has regained his cool. He stands up and
Of course.
he points at the creature. You, servant of she who firsts, I will serve you, not in this life or the next. Takes his coin and goes out the same door as Carolyn went out of.
Okay. The choice is there for you all, of course. But, and she looks down. And as she looks up again, it is in fact the man again, with his beautiful ebony beard. I will take my choice. And he reaches in and he pulls a coin out of himself, as you can see. And he stands up and he leaves through the right-hand door.
Well, that was really confusing.
Gerhardt, if you know of no magic to get us free from here, I can tell you now, and I pray to Ulrich, there's simply an empty echo where his presence should be. We are beyond the mortal realm.
I've studied a lot, but my own magic is mere parlor tricks by comparison to this. I'm
Well,
still at the beginning of my learning. I can't decipher this.
Then without further guidance, I will not accept an assignment from any creature who is so revolting, but I will not stay here either. And Hagen picks up the coin and walks out the door, following behind Ilmarin and Carolyn back to his life.
Okay.
Hopefully.
The door shuts behind Hagen.
Still singing. Johan just looks over at the dwarf. If he thinks he can hear Ulrich, that's better than anything I've got.
Yep, by gum. I ain't gonna let no pointy-eared elf get the better of me by walking through that there door first. Picks up the coin and goes stomping off.
Yeah, I'll pick up the coin and
Okay.
follow.
Leaving Ilmarin and...
No, Ilmarin's already gone.
Oh, you went first, didn't you? So
Yep, Ilmarin
everybody's
was the
gone
second
now.
one through.
Gerhardt, did you go through?
Not yet, no.
So whatever terrible
Probably the
fate
last one
awaits us on the other side.
You are
It's
on
just the
your own.
wizard.
I'll be the last one out then. I look around.
Hold
in
on. Did
confusion.
we just leave the wizard in
Yep.
the demon place by
So-
himself alone?
Yeah, we did.
So as you walk towards the door, one of these misshapen creatures moves into your way between yourself and the door. And it convulses and it sort of changes until it is human-like again. But it's wearing robes. It looks like some form of wizard. Gerhardt, would you leave here without the gift of power?
I've seen what this power can do. My power must be won by my own studies and efforts. I can't accept this gift. And I try and walk around the.
He just sort of looks at you as if like you've turned down the most exciting thing that you could possibly have. You know, he's almost in disbelief. And he just gestures towards you as you head towards the door.
If I can gain power through the sweat of my own brow, then I'm not ready to hold it. I'm gonna try and leave.
Can't believe no one went through the right door. Shocking. Okay.
We know nothing about the
we're
offer
nearing
except
the
this
end
thing's
anyway.
really fucking
Creepy.
Creepy.
Very
Creepy is
I
definitely
feel
an important word.
violated.
As
It
soon
licked
as you
our
walk through
souls.
the door, as soon as you walk through the door, you awake to you're lying down on a grassy hill, and there is heat from behind you. And you look around, and all your friends are there, including the priest. And behind you is what used to be the mansion house of Hagen's family. And it's burning, almost smouldering now.
I wonder whose fault that was.
Is Hagen's aunt with us?
Yes.
How's she?
We'll leave it there. She's stirring. She's stirring, so she's
Okay.
not dead. And we'll leave it there for this week.
Thank you. That was
Fantastic.
Oh,
that was
Creepy as
yeah.
hell.
Thank you very,
very
much
much.
for watching, everybody. It's been really enjoyable again, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.
We certainly
Okay.
got back into that full
Thank you
swing.
to my players.
Thank you very much to the Ghostmaster.
Thank you,
That was
Jim.
really
Yeah,
cool.
Thanks,
cheers,
Jim.
Jim.